Okay. Looks like everything is working. And I checked to make sure that the microphone and the headset was working in conjunction with StreamYard, so we are good there. One sec. Okay, that's a little bit better. So, hi, I'm Kelsey. I make comics and I make art, and today we are making comics and art along with HerdCon. If you don't know what HerdCon is a pop culture convention hosted at Marshall University down in Huntington, West Virginia. Their first ever show was one that I went to back in March of 2019, and I've been a big fan of theirs since then. Like, they've done a great show. I was not able to make it there in person this year because of just scheduling conflicts. I wasn't able to get the entire weekend off. I also moved fairly recently, so I just wasn't able to make it down. So, in lieu of that, we're doing this virtual event, and I'm going to show you the process of how I make art and things like that. So, let's get some of the um, top of the stream announcements out of the way. If you like what you see, be sure to check out all of my socials at linktree/KelseyD. That's also where you'll find my website, my Ko-fi shop, and a whole bunch of other things. I stream every Tuesday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually. Um, and those are on YouTube and Twitch. And those links for both of those platforms are going to be at linktree/KelseyD. Now, it's not every Tuesday and Saturday. For example, this upcoming Tuesday is going to be my day off, so there will be no stream that day. But usually when I stream, it's Tuesdays and Saturdays. And I see we've got some comments coming already. Hello, Carlos. Carlos is one of my regular super pet fans. Good to see you in the comments, my dude. Okay, so we talked about the schedule and I do a webcomic. You'll actually see me work on this a little bit during this stream. The webcomic is The Legend of Jamie Roberts. It is about a genderqueer pirate and their two best friends treasure hunting in a land full of dragons. We're partway through chapter 6 right now, but you can catch up on the entire story at thelegendofjamieroberts.com. Volume 1 is already in print. It will be coming onto my Ko-fi shop soon. If you would like to check out my online store, you can just go to ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. And you click on the shop link, it'll take you right to there. There are some free downloads in there. I have free coloring book pages if you would like to check that out and maybe color along with me as I draw. Give me just a second to set up the screen share. I almost forgot to do that. Share the screen, and there's a pop-up on my end, but here we go. Got that going. So we got that all set up. I'm going to get this link up on the screen because I have a mini comic available for download called The Legend of Azumi. You can download that at tinyurl.com/TLOAM. You can download it for free. Tips are optional, but you can download it for free. Check it out. It was unlocked by folks who backed The Legend of Jamie Roberts, Volume 1 on Kickstarter. So shout out to them for unlocking this story. Alrighty. Now that we got that, okay, I'm going to set up one of the upcoming pages of The Legend of Jamie Roberts just to get that going. You'll actually get to see a little peek at a script that I've got going for this comic. The way that I script comics is I do what's called thumbnails. And thumbnails are like rough sketches. They're not perfect by any means. They're just there to get the idea across. What we're looking at here is a page from the script for The Legend of Jamie Roberts. There, I had to adjust the curve to dim it down and brighten it up in different spots. Here we Nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave it like this so that stuff is still visible. And always save copies, kids. Okay. Now let me get the comic page template that I've got. This is a preset file that I built ahead of time. This has the dimensions that I need the page to be and the guidelines, obviously. And that's all set up. Hi, Jessica. Good to see you. So, Carlos and Jessica, my super fans in the comments. Oh, um, Erin, before I forget, Erin is another one of my super fans. She catches the Saturday live streams sporadically, but if you catch this on the replay, I did get your note in the mail. It's delightful. I was not expecting a note, but thank you so much. Um, Erin sent me a little note in the mail. Then I got it today, so thank you for that. Hopefully she catches this on the replay. I know she's going to be out of town this weekend. All right, let's see. We got the corner marks layer. We got the panels layer. Panels layer are currently blank at the moment, but we are going to Control A to select all, and we're going to copy and paste the thumbnails here. Name that layer thumbs, all caps. Super helpful to have it in all caps. Select the whole thing, and we're going to expand it. Here we go. Usually when I do that, I keep it to within that innermost rectangle. That innermost rectangle is what's called the live area. The live area is the safe zone, as it were, when your comic page goes to print. Um, so everything in this smaller rectangle in the center, that's your live zone, that's your safe zone. Everything outside of that is what we call bleed. Um, bleed is very likely to get chopped off whenever this page goes to print. So keep that in mind if you ever want to draw comic pages. We're going to save this. Okay, just to keep up the naming conventions. Here we go. Always save your progress, kids. All right, and we're going to make a control shift new for new layer, and we're going to call this the pencil layer. Now thumbs, I'm going to set this to opacity 50%. Currently, I don't have to change too much of this in translating it to pencils because the thumbnail layer has, well, the thumbnail sketch that I did has pretty much the look that I was going for. So looking at this, I have an idea for how to do the panels. Okay. Okay, here's my idea for how to do the panels. We're going to highlight the panel layer and we're going to hit the effect button, border effect. We're going to turn the edge color black and we're going to make the thickness of the edge about 7. The 7 is about what I have it usually when drawing this. And white brush tip. And there we go. That's the effect that it gives. Oh, wait. because this is a very specific effect that's happening right now. Remember a second ago when I said not much is going to change between the thumbnails and the actual like sketching of the page? Turns out I was fibbing. The big difference is going to be the panel borders are going to look different. And there's a story reason for that. Ooh, hold on. I just remembered I made a brush tip fairly recently. So let's turn that layer off. We're not going to delete it yet, just in case, but we're going to turn that off. Panels 2. Okay. A very creative original name. We're going to have the border effect on this one as well. We'll leave it white. Wait, no, we'll make it black. We'll make the edge color black. Hit B 3 times and go into, I believe, yes, it was the effect layer that I saved, that custom brush that I made. Let's bump this up to 100 and lock transparent pixels. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Couldn't remember 100% if I had updated that particular custom brush to have this look or if it was just one straight color. Turns out it was just one straight color. But with this lock transparent pixels trick, I can change the interior color of the brush there and get this effect. So that's something. And if I turn, yeah, I turned that lock transparent pixels command off. So we're okay. Back to the brush. Zoom out a little bit because I'm going to need to get all the way down the edge. There. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that works. Sweet. Yes, yes, indeed. Very neat. Very, very neat. I'm so glad that I made that custom brush. I almost I almost wanted to get rid of it after creating it because I was like, when am I going to use this? Turns out I can use this here. Thank you, past me. Okay. All right. If y'all are watching and if there's any of you who are tuning in for the first time, be sure to check out all of my links at linktree/KelseyD. Pretty much everything is there. I'll leave that up on the screen for a little bit. All right, back to this. Lock transparent pixels, and we're going to get this back in order and oh, that little nubbin needs a little tweaking. Let's shrink this brush down to 20 for a second. Oh, and turn that lock transparent pixels command off. That would help. Oh, there we go. That tidied it up some. Okay. Lock the transparent pixels again because the other chains have not been adjusted yet. Boop. Okay. I'm going to give this a try. And I'll get to penciling the rest of this, and we will see how it looks as I go. And if I decide that I'm going to change it, that is why I kept this layer, just in case. But we're going to keep this. That's the thing about these works in progress. You can make them whatever you want. All right. Get the pencil tool up and okay. This is one of the dragons that I mentioned. This guy has been helping fight the Mukta excursion that's been happening throughout all of most of chapter 5. I am going to do a thing. Bring up a past page of Jamie Roberts for visual reference for this dragon. You would think that I would have made a proper character sheet for this model by this point, considering how often I have to draw him, and yet I have not done that yet. Oh, excuse me. I have been up since like 4:45 this morning, so you'll have to excuse me. Oh, here we go. This is a good reference. This dragon is who I am drawing currently. I'm going to move that there. Yeah. Okay. Rotate the canvas slightly. I'm going to use the marquee tool and delete a few lines so that I can retry. Boop. I just realized this dragon's chin needed to be a bit wider. Probably needs to be wider still. Hold on. Yeah, it needs to be wider still. I'm just going to use the marquee / lasso tool and free transform stretch. That's a bit better. Whoop. A pretty boxy head.
Okay, I think I got it working this time. Shout out in the comments if you can hear me just fine, because I just switched to my blue snowball. I don't know why, but StreamYard does not like this headset because I made sure that it was charged. I made sure that everything was working just fine. And then like 20 minutes into the stream, the headphones just shut off. I wish I could tell you why, but there wasn't even a warning beep. It usually gives a warning beep before it dies. Yes, I know it's not the color blue. That's just the brand name. My goodness. Okay, it looks like everybody can hear me though. So good. Good. Glad for that. All right. Now that we got that figured out, I have a little nest for my tablet pen to sit in, and I had to move it. Here we go. Okay, back to the drawing board. Drawing out the teeth. Okay, I'm going to turn the thumbnail layer off for a second. Draw in the red scales and swoop. Oh, maybe not for that back horn. Oh, let me turn the corner mark layer off. That would help. Okay. Oh, and if you're wondering how the canvas rotates as I work, there's little commands on this screen. It's towards the right in this upper corner. Right under the page preview, there's these like other little commands like zoom out, zoom in, and this sets it to 100% zoom in, zoom out. And then below that are the commands for rotating the canvas. There's rotate left, rotate right, reset rotation. And then there's these buttons over here. One is flip horizontal and one is flip vertical. These two will come in handy just to make sure that everything is like proportioned as they should be, which I'm actually going to do that here. Okay. I'm going to do the free transform trick again. Because I feel like this head might be just a little bit too wide. Okay. We're going to hit the scale rotate that's popped up along that bar, and we're going to hit free transform. And yeah, that slims it down some more. There. Pretty much where I need it to be. And there we go. A little fun fact, because I'm not sure that I ever mentioned this in a previous live stream, but the dragon design here was actually inspired by a African mask called the Warakun. I can't remember which peoples it's a part of, but it is a West African mask. And it's primarily worn by a men's society dancer to suss out witches in the community. The lore goes that the mask can actually breathe fire. Most researchers who look into this cannot confirm or deny. It's just something that the locals are like, oh, yes, this mask can breathe fire. And I'm like, well, looking at the mask, I can see why, because it looks like a dragon. So there you go. A little fun fact, art history / lore tidbit trivia for you. You're welcome. There. Now, this is just the pencil layer. Whenever I get to inking this in, these points are not going to get inked in because this is the border edge. I just needed to draw out these lines to see the connecting points. There. And I'm going to turn the corner mark layer back on because there. Wanted to make sure that it was going to fit within that live area. Because again, this smaller rectangle portion is live area. And then this outer edge is bleed. Point of reference for y'all. I'm going to turn the thumb layer back on to see who was in that corner. It is Daniel. We're going to use kind of a brownish red pencil to help differentiate him. There we go. He actually has a softer jaw than the thumbnail implies, so I had to fix that a little. Oop. I was trying to get the hand command working. Oh, let's flip the canvas. That'll make drawing this other eye a little easier. Turn the thumb layer off. Okay. Because that was just a jumble of lines. It was really hard to see. Erase that a skosh. That's a bit better, I think. There. Boop. If y'all have any questions for me, now is the time to ask them. In order for me to see the questions in the chat, though, you'll need to post them on either Twitch or YouTube's live chat features. You know what? I had mentioned earlier that the headset that I was using, for some reason, StreamYard does not like it. Carlos, you bring up a good point. It might be the Bluetooth signal. I had not thought of that, but it probably is. Bluetooth, why? Why Bluetooth? Blue Snowball is apparently just fine, but not Bluetooth. Heaven forbid. I guess the only is Twitter being rude. I mean, when is Twitter not being rude? But also, like, I mean, you can ask on Twitter if you want to, but I'm just on Twitter for the funsies. To talk about hot takes and tabletop RPGs. And I mean, if you want to check out my Twitter page, cool. You're not going to find me at Kelsey D. Crawford. I don't go by that username on Twitter because, again, I'm on there for the funsies. I don't even think that I have Twitter on my link tree. Team Blue's trying his best. Yeah. But you know what? Feel free to post something on Instagram because I have an Instagram. DM me on Instagram because I see those. And you can find Instagram at linktree/KelseyD. I'll leave that link up for a second. By the way, Callie, I did see that you were back from taking your pupper out for a walk. I hope the pupper has been good. Bree has been an absolute shit. I mean, she usually is, but I still love her. But yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Bluetooth signal is very prone to interference. Oh, old school wire is the best. It's probably why Blue Snowball is just like, I'm just going to park here and chill. Secret Twitter is secret. Yes. I did have the Twitter link up on Linktree for a little while, but it was like towards the bottom. I recently cleaned the Linktree up, pruned it, if you will. I can't claim the origin for that joke. That was a Carlos thing. Oh, good. The pupper did super well today at the park. Got her to nap almost the second we came home. I have to share this little story. So, whenever I'm not drawing comics, I work part-time at a craft store that's down the road from me. I help stock the shelves and things. Also, I take advantage of their employee discounts whenever I can because art supplies. Now, this art supply store does allow, within reason, pets to come into the store. Usually they're helper animals, but we do get people who come in with just their pet dogs because they want to take their dogs for a walk. And one of my coworkers brought in the cutest little husky puppy that wasn't even, it was barely the size of my head. It was that small of a pup. Just the biggest, brightest blue eyes, and she was just so excited to meet people. Like, she gave me so many kisses. It was so cute. She was a cute little puppy. Apparently, she had been in trouble that morning because she ate cat food even though she wasn't supposed to, and that's why her little belly was like, boop. Okay, I'm going to go off script for a second to draw his shoulder here. Now, this is the pencil layer, so I can make this as messy as I want to. I'm actually really glad that I'm penciling this page of Jamie Roberts today, because next week is going to be freaking, bless you, it's going to be freaking bananas at the craft store. Like, they have me scheduled an excess amount of hours, so like this weekend is a good chance to work on this page, so glad I'm working on it. By the way, that is my roommate hanging out in the background. She's playing Breath of the Wild. Say hi, roommate. She has headphones in.
I heard part of that.
Yeah, I was saying say hi, roommate.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, she had headphones in. Playing Breath of the Wild currently. Oh, Arch of Winter says hi, roommate.
Who does?
Arch of Winter.
Oh, okay. Hello, Arch of Winter.
As she says hi, Arch of Winter.
I don't know if you can see my arm waving.
Yeah. She was like, I don't know if you can see my arm waving, but there it is. How far is she into the game? Well, she's done all the shrine quests.
I literally only have Ganon left to do.
She only has Ganon left to do, and she's just not doing it. Now she's running around finding all the Korok seeds, which explains why I'm hearing like beep, 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 over on the side here. And because I've seen Super Butterbuns' tutorial on Breath of the Wild for beginners like 17 times, anytime I hear that little beep, 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 my brain just goes, oh, hell!
I don't want the game to be done, so I'm not fighting Ganon yet.
That's fair. There is DLC for it. There's 2 DLC packs. So
yes, one of them has a dirt bike that looks like a horse.
Yes, one has a dirt bike that looks like a horse. Yeah, you found me. Bye-bye. Yes, very much that. Ooh, I'm going to flip the canvas for a second just to see how the arm looks. Okay, I'm going to fix this arm. Here we go. There's this line over here. Yeah, it's going to be messy, but I'll clean it up in the inks. Bless you.
I think that was Boo Boo.
What was that, Boo Boo?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't sneeze.
Okay. Boo Boo is Alex's cat. She is currently chilling in the sun, grooming, and probably it was mid-grooming that she sneezed. Bree Bree is laying on my bed, sleeping, even though she has no right to sleep, considering she woke me up at 4:45 in the morning. But it's fine. It's fine. I can't be mad at her forever. She was sleeping under my covers. It was very cute. Ooh, actually, hold on. Erase that. There. That's a bit better. Okay, I have the canvas right side forward. It's not flipped. I'm trying to remember where his quiver is strapped currently, like how it's strapped on. Okay, I see it. You know what? Because of the corner mark situation, and he still has to talk in this panel, I'm actually going to move him this direction. There. That way, the speech balloon can be like whoop, whoop, this over here. Because you got to plan for that sort of thing. It's important. Okay, because that was his tattoo that I was drawing there. Very important that I remember that because I keep forgetting that little detail. Draw the bundle of arrows that are sitting in the quiver. That's that. Ooh. The orb of Maliwe is going to be sitting in the very center here. We're going to make the pencils for that green because the actual orb itself is red. And I try to draw the pencils in the complement of the main color of the thing that I'm sketching. As often as I can, anyway. Sometimes with like some characters, like whenever I pencil Thomas, more often than not, I pencil him in blue because he often wears blue. But when it comes to like objects, I try to go for the complements. So like a red orb, let's pencil it in green. And there we go. Okay. I was checking the comments for a second. Earlier, I had said that Bree woke me up at like 4:45 a.m. Oh, that's just rude. Wake up calls by cats are only acceptable after like 9 a.m. I mean, generally speaking, yeah. There was a window of time, though, right around the holidays, because I started working for this craft store for their holiday rush. And then they just kept me on because they were short staffed. But when I started in the holiday rush, it was a regular occurrence to just wake up at 5 a.m. so I could be there by 6. And Bree, I guess, just acclimated to that. And she's like, pet parent wakes up at 5 a.m. now. And then she did not adjust after the holiday season was over. So she's just like, no, mother, you must be up at 5 a.m. It is unacceptable that you sleep in. She even does this on my days off. Like, madam. It's part of the reason I just have accepted an early bedtime now. Oh, let's update the banner going along the bottom. If you like what you are seeing and some of the commentary, feel free to, if you have the means, leave a tip. Particularly a pitch for anybody who is watching from HerdCon right now. By the way, if you're from a HerdCon, shout it out in the comments if you have the ability to. Because I do see that this is more viewers than usual. So yay! That tells me that some of you peeps at HerdCon are watching. I hope you're enjoying the show. All right, back to the sketching. Thomas here. Thomas is actually in the middle of something, so he's going to have to get redrawn. Earlier in the stream, I said I don't have to change too much from thumbnails to the pencil stage, and I'm changing so much. Get the general face shape going, and we're going to turn that thumb layer off. And the reason I'm going to have to change a lot is because in the previous page, I'll show the panel because I just finished this page earlier this week, actually. This was what was going on. So I'm going to need to make a few changes here. Scooch that over there. There we go. Okay. After that, I'm going to have the Moktaw's hand, because that's who this bad guy is. This is a Moktaw. This is a antagonistic spirit in the land that they are exploring currently. Okay. Back to the blue, green, the teal that I was using. It's probably one of the funniest poses that I've drawn for a little while. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Jamie Roberts does have the story's moments of humor, and this is one of them. We'll flip the canvas a sec. There we go. Yeah. We're going to use the transform aspect again to change this up. Free transform. There. You know what? We'll leave that be, at least for now. There's his neck. There's his collarbones. Back and shoulders. Kind of laying on his side here because, I mean, how else is he going to keep the knife in the Mokhtaw's hand here. By the way, content warning, blood. I feel the need to mention that now. Oh, and Carlos says, hello, HerdCon. Alrighty. Also, yes, the Moktah in this world, they may be spirits, but special enchanted weapons can actually deal damage to them. Let me rotate the canvas just to make sure that his torso is not completely busted. Oop. You know, I just thought of this. Yeah, exactly. Realistically, it probably does make sense that you're getting all of the Korok seeds, because that expands your inventory, and you need as big of an inventory as you possibly can to face against Ganondorf. Because yikes. Yeah. I mean, there are speedrunners who have managed to beat this game with nothing but a spoon, but
I'm not that good.
No. I can't really think of anybody personally who is that good.
No.
Yeah. Also, to answer this question, I'm done talking. Thank you. Talking to you. While I'm thinking about it, because I am simultaneously streaming this on Twitch, I've actually thought about it, because I had considered streaming gaming content on Twitch before, but I have decided to not do that, because I'm not going to monetize playing video games for public viewing. Because, like, there are some people who are super duper into that. I am not one of them. I'm barely into video games as it is. I have not touched a video game in, oh God, several months at least. So, like, if I'm not playing video games on a regular basis, what makes me think that I'm going to play it on a regular basis for a Twitch audience? So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to play Twitch, or I'm going to do Twitch with art streams. With video games, I'm just going to do it for the funsies whenever I feel like it. That said, maybe this is saying something about me as a particular player, but I think the last time that I played video games, I was playing the Crash Insane trilogy. And I'm honestly not sure why I picked this game up, because I remember playing the original Crash games when I was a kid and not liking the experience at all. So, like, why did I feel the need to pick up the game like almost a year ago? I don't know. I can't tell you. That said, I do want to play Crash 4. Crash, It's About Time, the newest Crash game that came out. And I'll tell you why. Because looking at the game footage, A, it looks really, really good. B, I did see a bunch of reviewers talk about this game. The diehard fans are the ones who are really split down the middle. They either love this game or they freaking hate it. But one of the usual game reviewers that I watch, Nitro Rad, I actually really respect his opinion when it comes to video games, because he's a bit of an old school gamer like myself. Because, like, I don't really play any of the new games. If I play games, it's usually the retro stuff, like PS1, PS2 era. But I don't have that many, like, new games. But Nitro Rad talks a lot about like the retro stuff. And then he talked about Crash, It's About Time. And in that video, he actually confessed to not being a big Crash fan, and yet he really liked Crash, It's About Time. And I'm like, okay, well, he and I are kind of, we're on the same page in the regard of just not being big fans of the original trilogy. And the way that he's talking about the It's About Time, he's bringing up points that like for the diehard Crash fans, they're flaws, but for him, it was positives. And I'm like, okay. You know what? I'm willing to give Crash 4 a chance. Probably why I picked up the Insane trilogy was because I was like, hey, maybe I need some context before I get into Crash 4, because Crash 4 does have a lot of fan service in it. Particularly playing Crash 3, because there are a lot of nods to Crash 3 in Crash It's About Time. But realistically, you could probably watch some cutscenes on YouTube and get just the same amount of context. This is not Kingdom Hearts levels that we're talking about here. Yeah, like I said, I'm not much of a gamer. That said, I did actually play Kingdom Hearts 3 all the way through to the end. Like, Kingdom Hearts is one of those rare franchises that I'm, like, actually invested in as far as video games go. I have not played the Remind expansion yet. That's next. I had actually paused playing Kingdom Hearts 3 because I was doing a second playthrough. But I paused that one because I just got distracted by other games. But I may just go back to Kingdom Hearts 3 and either finish that second playthrough or just jump into the Remind DLC. I might just jump into the Remind DLC because, like, at the point that I'm at in the playthrough, I distinctly remember I was at the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which is weird because I love pirates. But like the way there's just something about how Kingdom Hearts 3 tackles the pirate world. And actually, I think I know what the problem is. The problem is that in Kingdom Hearts 3, the Pirates of the Caribbean world follows the events of Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Probably the worst movie out of the original trilogy. I was not a big fan of movie number 3, and yet it follows the events of that. It's probably what it is. That, and there are some arbitrary, like, gaming mechanics that make you go, this is unnecessarily difficult. Oh, never played Crash. The closest thing is the Crash levels in our Uncharted 4. It was the most difficult part of Uncharted 4. I will never actually play a Crash game because they are too hard. I mean, you're not wrong. One of the reasons I did want to pick up Crash 4 is because Crash 4 actually does away with the live system. I feel like a big chunk of the frustration with the Crash games, the original Crash games, is that they use lives. Like, if you die, you lose a life, and you can only regain lives by collecting 100 Wumpa fruit or finding a little life token and picking that up. Which I will agree with Nitro Rat on this point. I do feel like we have progressed in gaming enough that we do not need lives. Like, we do not need the live system, I should say. I mean, obviously we need lives. We need to be able to, like, walk away from the video game if it's frustrating us too much. But we don't need the lives system. We've progressed to a point in gaming where we're not playing arcade boxes that are designed to eat up your quarters. Like, we're beyond that point. We're now at the point where we can play gaming consoles at home. And so the content in video games now is a lot more story based and a lot less challenge based, I think. So just do away with lives. And that's part of why I want to pick up Crash 4 is because, it keeps a lot of the challenge of, or at least a lot of the mechanics of Crash, but does away with using lives to make it arbitrarily difficult. So you can retry things as many times as you need to. Like, you do get rewards if you die less than 3 times in a given level and things like that, but like that's a challenge that's more intrinsic to the player. Like, the player puts that pressure on themselves to get that good. It is not a mechanic that is built into the game to like punish you for it. I think we've progressed in video games past the whole carrot and stick thing to a certain extent in that regard. But that's me. Then let me step off of my soapbox for a minute. Okay, back to sketching this. Oh, the Mokta's face has changed since this thumbnail. Why are they called thumbnails? I wish I could tell you. I'm sure that there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for it, but I do not know what it is. I just call them thumbnails because that's just the lingo. There's the chin line. Turn the thumb layer off. Because, like, the Mokta's face shape is generally wider jawed. Because they were originally taking the shape of the chief, and the chief has a very wide jaw and a very pointed chin. And this is a Hatsue Mokta, a shapeshifter. There are different types of Mokta in this world. There are shapeshifters. There's most of them are modeled after amalgamations of different beasts. Like, there's a bat snake. There's and a lot of them have like snake-like bodies, but like there's a boar snake, there's a bull snake, there's a tiger snake, things like that. Thank you, Callie, for doing the research for us. Time to figure out why thumbnails are called thumbnails. Off to Google I go. Come back with your results. Here we are. The word thumbnail is a reference to the human thumbnail and alludes to the small size of an image or picture comparable to the size of the human thumbnail. I know that's why they're called that whenever you're like looking it up on like Google image search, why those are called thumbnails. But I wasn't entirely sure why the sketched like scripts that I'm working off of are called thumbnails, but it's probably a reference to that. But thank you for the research, Callie. What is going on? Boo Boo, was that you? Yeah, that was Boo Boo. Okay. Boo Boo was making a noise. She was booting something across the floor.
The lid to one of my pill bottles.
The lid to one of her pill bottles. Because that is a toy. That is a toy for cat, don't you know? Are we going to be graced with the presence of a cat? Oh, we are going to be graced with the presence of Boo Boo. It is a Boo Boo. It is a Boo Boo. It is a Boo Boo. This is the 3rd time that you have been on camera this year. Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. Such a celebrity.
So photogenic.
So photogenic. Wow. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, tell us all about it, madam. Wow. Oh, is that your opinion on the matter? Wow. Oh, you don't say. Wow. Oh, well, I feel very sympathetic for the cause of Ukraine as well, madam. I love that that's what gets her to go quiet.
Are you interested in world events, Purple?
Are politics an interest? Maybe not. The meow, OMG, my heart.
I know, I love her.
I know. I love her too. Oh, she's just so opinionated whenever you hold her. She does not like being held.
But I subject her to it.
But yes, she is subjected to it because she is just that cute.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Back to the thumbnail discussion. Apparently, the term dates back to the 17th century. Good to know. All right. Okay, let's get back to sharing the screen. There we go. But there we go. There is your streamly dose of a cat. Because
Yours is still curled up under your blanket.
Mine is still curled up under the blanket. In these live streams, it's usually either Bree or Boo Boo. Most of the times, it's Boo Boo. Bree does not like being on camera. She will cuddle in my lap, but she does not like being on camera. And another Korok discovered on the television screen.
Oh, well, apparently there's 900 of them.
Oh yeah, there's 900 of them.
We're gonna look for a while.
How many have you found so far?
I have no idea. It doesn't keep track.
Oh my god! It doesn't keep track for. Oh my god!
I think so.
Oh, no wonder the completionists are pissed off about this game.
I mean, maybe it does.
Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody at HerdCon has minors. I would like to apologize for subjecting you to that kind of fucking language. But I know, how dare. But you know, I am in the camp of Bill. Bill was a instructor of ours when we went to the Navajo reservation. He was one of our chaperones. I don't know how well you can chaperone a bunch of college students.
I get a load screen. I found 271 of them.
Oh, good lord. She's only found 271 Korok seeds out of 900.
I don't know if I'm going to find all 900, but I'm going to up my weapons.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't hurt to up your weapons before you face off against Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Boo-Boo has the zoomies.
Boo-Boo's got the zoomies. But Bill, in our trip to the Navajo reservation, the topic of his previous career choice came up because he used to be a minister, and he said one of my favorite Billisms, which is "fuck is not our god, so it is not a swear word." Callie, for the record, was like, I've only found like 350-ish and I gave up. Which is fair. But 271 is almost a third of them. Oh, okay. I don't know how true this is, but Arch of Winter says you can't get all of the seeds. There is at least one placed under the entire map.
Why?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not a completionist, but still.
Yeah.
That pisses me off for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no. For a little while, I was watching a YouTuber called The Completionist, where he would just play video games and in completionist mode, trying to get everything to get at 100%. I feel like completionists probably got their start with the Spyro trilogy because that game knew how to reward players for playing to 100%. The original Spyro games were my jam, and I was the peanut butter. No, not Dick and the peanut butter.
Every time I hear peanut butter, I think of that. Because I love Liam O'Brien.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a good reference if you know where it originates from, but like, no, not Dick and the peanut butter in this instance.
No.
Oh, Boo Boo's playing with butterfly and hiding in box. We have a little mechanical butterfly toy that like it spins in a circle and flutters, and she loves playing with that thing. Bree Bree is terrified of it and refuses to go near it if it's ever on.
Is she? I didn't know she was scared.
Oh yeah, Bree is terrified of this thing. Like if it ever turns on, she will watch in abject horror.
Aww. Boo Boo is launching herself off the bottom of the box on her side.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're so cute.
Oh, Bree Bree. Oh, Boo Boo. Boo Boo and Bree Bree. They are both very silly. Let's see. Yeah, I do agree with there. Spyro is fantastic, and they honestly did pretty good with the remaster. Last I heard, the remastered version of the third game was pretty buggy. So, like, I'm kind of hoping that, you know, there were patches to address that. Catching up on comments. Can I send a request? A request for what? A little clarification. Clarify that in the comments, please, because I'm not entirely sure what you mean by request. Are you talking about a request for art? Oh, okay. Yeah, for art. Yeah, for art. I don't generally do art requests on stream. The streams are more for showing off my art process. I am available for commissions, however. If you have the means to do that. The only time that I really do requests is for special instances, like if there's like a charity live stream going on or something like that, which I might do a charity art stream. We'll see. I'm gonna take some time to figure that out. Yeah, looking at the comments, yeah, something like that. That's more of a commission request. If you have the means to do that, I got more details on my Ko-fi page, kofi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. The link is on the screen right now. There is a little button for commissions, and if you click that, that has all of my rates. Generally speaking, though, I don't really draw requests on stream unless it's like a special event. Sorry. Like I said, the live streams are more for showing off my process and almost like a tutorial, because I know that there are folks out there who are new to Clip Studio Paint who either they've switched away from Photoshop and they don't know what they're doing, or they got Clip Studio Paint on a lark, but they haven't really used it yet. So I like showing off my process to be like, hey, here's this tool. Check out how this works. And that sort of thing. I do actually have a archived stream because all of my streams get archived on my YouTube channel. There is a live stream that is now archived on YouTube that shows off some Clip Studio Paint tips and tricks that I've learned. If you would like to check that out, go ahead and go to linktree/Kelsey D and click on my YouTube link, and that'll take you to my YouTube channel. It's I think I did that stream last year, so you're going to have to dig through the videos a little bit. But it's also available on my blog as well. If you go to my blog and you type in the search engine there, Clip Studio Paint Tips and Tricks, it'll pop up. Oh, excuse me a second. So earlier today, when I was, because the shifts that I usually work at this craft store part-time are in the mornings. Like starting shift is usually at like 7 a.m. But today I was putting away spring floral. I'm kind of hoping that nothing got in my eye, but it does feel like something got in my eye. And that's super annoying. Okay, now the mock top does not have a nose, so because the mock generally do not have noses. They have something akin to a snoot, but they do not have actual noses. Generally, they have 5 eyes, and that's why the number 5 in the world that Jamie Roberts and friends are exploring, the number 5 is considered an unlucky number. Because it is often associated with Mokta. Mokta often have 5 eyes unless they get super duper irate. There is an eye on this Mokta's shoulder because at one point they just got so full of rage that they started sprouting eyes and mouths on different parts of their body, including their chest and their arms. This particular eyeball is crying blood because horror. Pretty sure there's a mouth on this. Yeah, there's a mouth on this arm. I'm going to rotate the canvas a bit. Okay. I think there was an eye on the back too. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to draw Asia in this corner. I'm debating if I want to move Thomas in his panel or not. Because he does say something, or at least the original script called for him to say something, but he may just be a little too tied up to say anything. Okay, and Asia here is going to be finally in armor, trying to run in on the scene to assist. I see what's happening in the comments. Carlos was trying to say 5 eyes, but the emojis were not cooperating. So blah. There we go. Today's tea selection is decaffeinated Earl Grey with some honey added in. It's my go-to tea to make sure that my throat doesn't get super duper scratchy from all the talking that I do in these live streams. One of these days, I am going to get a better microphone. If you would like to help contribute towards a better microphone, if you have the means, leave a tip. Ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. I will use the funds that you contribute towards getting a better microphone, because like I do like the Blue Snowball, the one that I currently use, but I would like to upgrade, because it's not just live streams that I talk excessively. I also co-host a podcast. And in that podcast, I'm usually the one with the worst like sound quality because of the microphones that I use. So I would like to upgrade. If you do help towards that, I will draw you something. Ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford for more information about that. But yeah, the podcast that I co-host is called The Fourth Leg. Now that I do not have a link for on my link tree, but if you go to my website has a little button for The Fourth Leg. If you click that, it takes you right to the podcast. It's available on most podcasting platforms. Like I know for a fact it's on Google Podcasts, so I'm pretty sure it's on other ones too. It's also on Spotify. But if you go to linktree/Kelsey D and you click on my blog, there's a little button for The Fourth Leg. If you click that, it'll take you right to the podcast. I'm one of the co-hosts for it. Be sure to check it out if you are a aspiring game master, or like you're new to being a game master for tabletop RPGs or anything like that. The podcast is for you. The pitch goes that we give new GMs a leg to stand on. I cannot claim credit for that. That credit goes to my co-host James. He came up with that. Nope. Hunter. His username on the screen whenever we get together on meetups says James, but it's actually Hunter. But we have Hunter and Joe. And myself. We are the 3 ongoing hosts, and we often get a fourth guest, like a fourth person who is a guest. Oh gosh, the schedule for that is all kinds of jumbled for me, so I can't tell you right off the top of my head what the newest episode is about. But we update it every other week, so be sure to check that out. Okay, Igie, I'm gonna bring up her reference here in a second. I forgot there's a okay. X out of that for a sec. And okay. This is a good EGA reference, I think. Boop. Okay. Yeah, for her, I'm going to draw her in purple. Because she is the chief's daughter, after all. That makes her just about royalty. Now, she does have a soft jaw as well, so... Here's the placement of her nose, the nose tip. Now, don't quote me on this, but I'm fairly certain that EGA's gauges for her earlobes have been getting increasingly larger as the comic progresses, because that's just what happens. But don't quote me on that. I try to keep them consistent. Gosh dang it. Hope all of y'all who are watching from HerdCon are enjoying the show. Sorry I wasn't able to make it there in person, but I'm happy to be here. Here we go. Had to fix that. I'm pretty sure she's wearing a helmet. Let me look at the script. Okay. Yeah, I originally designed her wearing a helmet. Okay. Now, the reason for this, why there's 7 prongs on here, is this is actually a callback to another West African masked style. That particular mask also has prongs along the crown of the head. The number for that particular mask that I'm thinking of is actually 9, because 9 is a important number for them. But here I'm making it 7 because 7 is just a lucky number. And if you read chapters 4 and 5 of The Legend of Jamie Roberts, and you look really closely at the chief's crown, now that you know that the number 5 is considered an unlucky number in this universe, you may notice the number of prongs that are on the chief's crown in chapters 4 and 5 are a little bit of a spoiler. So, fun fact for you. Talking about, I'm catching up on comments here. Talking about HerdCon. Sign me up for next year. I'm basically a Swiss Army nerd. You really are. You really are a Swiss Army nerd. Also, you are a great table buddy, because you were my table buddy at AwesomeCon back in, I want to say 2018. You were super helpful there. Thank you so much. And not just because you talked about wrestling to anybody who had any remotely wrestling looking gear on. Like, first of all, thank you for talking wrestling and introducing me to the culture, and also talking with anybody at AwesomeCon who wanted to talk wrestling. You saved my ass so many times. And SPX. Yes, you were my table buddy at SPX as well. So thank you for that. Because yes, you were also my table buddy at Small Press Expo. I do hope that I can make it into Small Press Expo. We'll see. Because I'm looking at my roster for other conventions to appear at. I may or may not be able to make it to Rathacon next month. We'll just have to see how things go. Also may or may not be able to make it to Three Rivers Comic Con, because again, I moved in 2020 and I moved further away from the conventions that I usually attend. This isn't to spite those conventions. This is because I needed to move out of the place that I was living in currently, and the best place that I could move to that was safe was Toledo, the Toledo area. So that's where I went. And for anybody who's going to try to counter that, Toledo's not that safe, you need to stop. Because you know exactly why you're saying that. Okay, there we go. Look at the thumbs for a second to see. Okay. This is just to get the general shape down. Here we go. Because there's one bit of armor. Nope, don't like that. Okay. If there's any one thing that annoys me about the usual design of armor for ladies is that they often pull the World of Warcraft thing where it's like the dudes are in super duper heavy duty armor and the girls are like in bikinis. Just do either what Dark Souls does or what Final Fantasy does. Because like on the spectrum of Dark Souls to Final Fantasy in terms of how you are going to equip armor on your main characters. Because Dark Souls is the extreme of everybody is in heavy armor just about all the time. And does not matter what gender you are or your physiology, like everybody looks the same. And the Final Fantasy end of the spectrum is everybody in their underwear, everybody be hot. I'm sorry, I just saw the comments. Okay. To quote the Cleveland Tourist video, at least we're not Detroit. Okay. You reminded me of this post that I saw on Tumblr yesterday, because I am on Tumblr also for the funsies. Good luck finding me, because my username is not obvious. But there was a post on Tumblr that was like, you know, the rest of the world needs to realize that the United States is not one country. We are 50 countries in a trench coat. And it becomes real evident that we are 50 countries in a trench coat whenever there's stuff like this quote. Because Detroit, for folks who are not based in the United States, Detroit is in a state called Michigan. Cleveland is in a state called Ohio. While Ohio and Michigan are neighboring states, We do not get along. There is actually something called the Toledo Wars, because Toledo is a city in Ohio, and Toledo sits right on the border with Michigan. There was something called the Toledo Wars, and there's still tension between Michigan and Ohio because of the Toledo Wars. I wish I could tell you more about it. I didn't even know that the Toledo Wars were a thing, because growing up, I grew up along the border of Ohio and West Virginia, and that has its own tensions. But yeah, when you realize, oh, the United States is just 50 nations in a trench coat pretending to be one, A, it makes a lot of things make a lot more sense. And B, it explains why there's such like competitive tensions between states, because the states kind of regard themselves as their own separate nations. It's part of the reason why California anything is just screw all of you, and why Texas anything is screw all of you. Worse than California. It's like California and Texas have they're neck and neck to see who can be the most, like, who can be the state that says fuck you the most to everybody else. It's never the tortilla wars. It is never the tortilla wars. I feel like that is a reference to something, and I don't know what it is. Talking about armor design, I heard someone once call it titty armor, and I lost it. Yeah, it is. It's titty armor. This is true. It feels more like 100 countries because the regional areas and states. And also, if you squint, Native American reservations are and they aren't their own separate nations. There's so many asterisks attached to that, though, that it can be argued one way or the other as to whether they are actually independent nations or if they're part of the United States. Oh, this comment. For those who don't know, the upper part of Michigan that's separated by a body of water is because they lost the Toledo War and Ohio got Toledo. I'm trying to figure out the wording for this. Toledo is separated from Ohio by a river. This is true. The river that cuts through Toledo is the Maumee River. Yeah, you're not wrong. The map geek in me hates the borders of the states. Nowhere is this more evident than the borders of Oklahoma and Texas, in my opinion. And there are people in Tennessee and Georgia arguing to this day about the border between Tennessee and Georgia, which is like, okay. Yeah, Carlos, I agree with you. I also want a snack now. I'm going to stream for another 20 minutes, and then I'm going to grab a snack of some sort. Oh, I need to change this arm pose. Okay, so we are going to draw her holding a sword here. So rough finger placement. We're going to move this over here-ish. Okay. Shoulder, wrist, draw a line connecting the two. Get halfway, draw a perpendicular line, rough elbow placement. Ta-da! I was thinking she was holding a shield with the other one, but I wanted to be certain before I penciled it in. Oh, this is going to be story relevant later. The design of the armor, the reason why the shoulder pads are square, is it actually ties back to the Ragun Dwa, the Dragon Wars, which is referenced in chapter 2 of The Legend of Jamie Roberts. The side that fought alongside Basho has the square armor. The side that fought alongside Ranki has pointed armor. So keep that in mind. Also, don't forget to hydrate at HerdCon. So if you are at HerdCon, hydrate. This is your reminder to hydrate. Arch of Winter, you probably hate West Virginia. Panhandles shouldn't exist unless it is a natural geological formation. You are not incorrect. You are not incorrect. I will say that. Yep. Oh, there is a reason why. Back in the old days, borders were dictated by rivers and mountains and not necessarily by throwing spaghetti on a piece of paper. Though throwing spaghetti on a piece of paper is often how cities are planned, I guess, particularly in the United States. Looking at you, Boston and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is really egregious about this. Because she's stepping forward. She's going to be stepping down off of the chief's house steps, or the palace steps, if you want to be, Western about it. I mean, it is big and ostentatious, but they don't call it a palace. I'm going to flip the canvas just to make sure that everything's all hunky-dory. Just going to use the lasso tool to delete that. Okay. No, not mesh transformation. Free transformation. We're going to adjust this a tad. Or maybe we should mesh transform. Hold on. Mesh transformation. This is actually getting it where I needed to go. There. Okay. Flip back. Okay. Yeah, this will work.
Can I interrupt with some very cute Critical Role art?
Yes, you can interrupt for some cute, very Critical Role art. Very cute Critical Role art. What's going on?
It's Orem with all the ladies, and there's a little tiny pate.
Oh, I didn't notice the pate before.
It's so cute.
I've seen that on Instagram.
It's so cute.
It is very cute.
It's so cute.
I never noticed the pate before. Hold on.
I don't know if people can see it, but
Hold on,
so
let's
cute.
remove. And
It's
it's this
so
one.
cute.
It's this one.
It's so cute.
Yes. Yes. Okay, hold on. I'm going to give this artist a shout out because I've seen this cross my dash a couple of times. Wait, you have it up. Who posted that?
Oh, MarYne, Mairn.
Okay. MarYne.
Yeah, the act is MARYNEELAHAYE.
Oh God, hold on. Try that again.
MARYNEE
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
LAHAYE.
Thank you. There we go. Fixed it. I like giving artists proper attributions when I can.
Absolutely. And it is adorable.
Oh, then, and the comments are already talking about borders. Because Callie was like, should I mention the town that splits the border of the US and Canada, and even their library is split down the middle? I feel like this is also a reference to Kansas City.
A library in two countries?
Yes, there is a library in two countries. It is pretty cool.
A passport to go back and forth?
That's actually a good question. Would you need a passport to I'm sorry, you need a passport to get to reference?
Oh, I'm sorry, the fiction section is in Canada.
Yeah. Madam, you are not allowed to get into the romance section. It is illegal for you to cross this border. This is just funny to me.
That would be such a tease. I'd be so mad.
Oh, okay. It is apparently called the Derby Line Library, for anybody who is curious.
Okay.
There's also the little peninsula that's part of the U.S. that borders Canada, but completely separated from the rest of the U.S.
Yes.
Is that on the side with New York or California? I don't remember.
Probably New York. I know it exists. Ow.
Yeah, I feel like this exists
I'm
because
not great at geography.
it might be where the Vikings landed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarification. At that library that is split in two. So you have to have a passport to enter, but once you're inside, it's considered one space and you can be in either country freely. Although that would have been funny to be like, I'm sorry, you cannot cross into this section of the library without a passport. Also, Alaska. Just Alaska. We're not going to talk about Hawaii. I feel like the subtitle for this live stream is, and everyone bitches about geography. Yeah. Just looking at the comments, it's like, oh man. All right, let's finish up this armor so that we're not looking at just like a blank mannequin here. Oh, right. Igier's lefty. So we're going to put the scabbard of the sword over here. No, no, hilt is a different part. This scabbard is correct. I was right the first time. Sheath. Good God. I'm tired. I've been up since 4:45 this morning. Yeah, at least Hawaii are islands. Yes. This is funny to me. There's also a U.S. town in Alaska that is serviced by the Canadian Postal Service and uses Canadian money because it doesn't connect to the U.S. road system.
That's not surprising.
Oh, Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, let's get this back on the stream. Here we go. Okay. That way we're not looking at a naked ass mannequin.
No.
Did you drop a controller?
Yes.
Oops.
There's a Knuckle Island, just so you're aware, in this game.
There's a Knuckle Island in Breath of the
Knuckle
Wild. Oh, they tried to spell it all pretentious. It's Knuckle Island.
It's
Where's the echidnas? If you want a wild ride as far as like reading comics go, just read the Knuckles the Echidna comic. It exists. Here, let's change up the banner. It's been a hot minute since I talked about The Legend of Ajumi. So here you go. If you want free comics, check out The Legend of Ajumi. It is free to download. Tips are optional. I do appreciate tips. Your tips will go towards the purchase of a new microphone to help with recording these live streams and podcasts. I would love to do more podcasting, honestly. Like, editing is a big chore for me as far as audio and visual. Like, I hate editing video. There's just something about editing video that I just despise. But I can edit audio stuff. So, you know, that's one barrier crossed for recording podcasts. Yeah, to an extent, I don't mind listening to my own voice. I've come to accept that the voice that I hear in podcast form and in live stream form is not the voice that I hear in my head. But that's because of physiology reasons. Because the physiology is the voice that you hear that you think is yours is going to sound richer and deeper because of just how your ear canals are structured. So whenever you record your voice and it plays back to you, you don't get the like deeper reverbs that you hear in your own head. So, fun fact for anybody who's ever wondered, why does my talking voice in a recorded form not sound like me? That is why. It's a little easier for me to divorce it when editing podcasts and audio, less so editing video, which is why I hardly ever do like edited videos anymore. It's also why I post super duper inconsistently on TikTok. Again, I despise editing video. And that's 90% of TikTok. If you ever want to create TikToks, is just editing. I do not like editing videos. I cannot state enough. Okay. Oh, I discovered this the other day. Hold on, I'm going to change the pencil color so that you can see it easier. Okay, we're going to make it green. Okay, here. We got the pencil tool. I'm going to hold shift. Okay. Doot. And shift. Doot. Ha ha! Straight line. Drawn up. So the way you do that, just to show it off again. Oh, I'm going to make a new layer. Stairs. Pencils. So you make your first anchor point, and then you hold the shift key. And that's what makes this little outline here. And then without touching the tablet, you drag it to where it needs to go. You point your mouse where it needs to go. And then to make it solid, you just tap. And there we go. Look at that. So cool. It did not take that time because I did not tap. There we go. Boop. I discovered that trick the other day, and I am so happy that I did. So unreasonably happy that I did. Okay. I'm actually going to delete a few lines because the steps that she's stepping down from are both deeper and shorter. If that makes any sense. Okay, there we go. Oh, our key tool and move this there. And okay. Background line. Here's the door. Okay, progress so far. I was just catching up on comments. We're good. I am out of tea. I am sad. I'm going to put this over here so that I know I'm out of tea. I was about ready to drink out of it. Well, we got 1-ish minute left. So I'm going to keep on drawing. But if you have any last minute questions for me, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will address them as best as I can. Again, about another minute I will draw and then we'll wrap up the stream here. Let's go back to the base pencil layer, get the purple pencil back. I'm going to make this stair pencil layer about 50% opacity because that's bold. Back to the regular pencil layer, and we're going to draw this other arm. Because this arm is holding a shield. You know, I just thought of this because this the Ragoon Dwa was something that happened in the canon of this story like 500 plus years ago. And the dragons of this world are very long-lived. Like there are dragons alive at the start of the story that remember the war. And there are some that are even older than that. Which does have a influence on how the culture at large progresses or does not progress. And that's something that we're going to see the consequences of as the story goes on. Strap for the shield. There's the thumb. Yeah. Knuckles and sometimes you just got to draw the knuckles and that gives you all the information that you need to draw the rest of the hand. Okay. Oh, Callie has a question. I have a community I think would potentially really like your content. Is it okay for next time you go live if I can post a link to that group? Absolutely. That is totally cool with me. Well, okay. I'm pretty sure that I got your number so I can text you. So whenever I get that live stream figured out, I will text you the link. If nothing else, I will text your mom the link because your mom and I are still on a texting basis. Okay. Whew. All right. We're going to end the share screen there because it's pretty much done. The only thing left is to penciled the shield. So let's get into the post-stream announcements before we wrap up. First of all, thank you for tuning in, especially if you were watching from HerdCon. Thank you for taking some time out of your very packed, very busy day to just chill and watch as I draw. Oh, yeah, that's true. I can also, going back to Callie's point, yeah, I can get her number from her mom because her mom and I are still like, we're still chummy. Also, thank you for the round of applause. Yes, round of applause for all of y'all who stayed tuned throughout the entire episode. Shout out to you. I hope that you enjoyed watching, and if nothing else, if you lurked while you worked, I hope that this helped keep you focused. I'm totally cool if you lurk while you work, while these streams are happening. Like, that's totally fine with me. These live streams air on YouTube and Twitch every Tuesday and Saturday, unless there's a change of plans. And if there's a change of plans, I usually announce it in a stream or on Instagram. For example, I will not be streaming this upcoming Tuesday, but I will be streaming next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually the streams are at 2 p.m. And again, if that changes, I usually announce it on Instagram and other social media platforms. For everything else, you can find my social media links on linktree/KelseyD. I am on Instagram and TikTok. Now, I am on Twitter and Tumblr, but I'm only on there on both platforms just for the funsies, not necessarily for work. So I don't really have links to either of them on my Linktree. The Linktree does have links for my webcomic, The Legend of Jamie Roberts, which you saw me draw a page of today, and that is at thelegendofjamieroberts.com. We are already partway through chapter 6, but there is an archive, so if you would like to catch up on the story, now is a good point to catch up on the story. New pages drop every Wednesday. I would love to get it to a point where it can update twice a week. It is not there yet. If you like what you saw today, feel free to, if you have the means, leave a tip at ko-fi.com/KelseyD Crawford. My online store is also there. I am also available for commissions, and more information is there in that link. That link also has a gallery, and the gallery has another webcomic that I do called Puzzle Spell. Puzzle Spell is the story of a little cat witch named Malaminx, who is trying to cure a curse that has been put on her best friend, Beatrice the Crow Witch. And the story has already wrapped up part 1 and part 2. I'm partway through part 3. The gallery feature on Ko-fi has the past pages. If you want to see new pages, you'll need to get on my email newsletter. That link is at linktree/KelseyD. I only send out emails once a week on Fridays, and I don't give your email to anybody because privacy is very important to me. Privacy is one of the reasons why I am considering leaving Kickstarter. And if you want to know more about that, I wrote an entire blog post about my feelings on Kickstarter and what it is that they're doing right now. That's at Linktree. Just click on my website. It was fairly recent, like it was in the last couple of weeks that I wrote about that. Let's see. Let me look at my links. I do have a thing called the Sticker of the Month Club. Sticker of the Month Club is running votes for this month's sticker. If you would like to vote for this month's sticker, all you got to do is give as little as $1 a month on either Ko-fi or my Patreon page, patreon.com/KelseyD Stickers. The Patreon is the one that's more heavily dedicated to the Sticker of the Month Club. Ko-fi is for the comic stuff. And okay, I'll go ahead and a shout out. If you have the means to, please donate to the Ukrainian Red Cross. They are basically the Red Cross, but for Ukraine. And very important distinction that you call it Ukraine, not the Ukraine, because when you call it the Ukraine, that's basically treating it as a satellite of the Russian Federation or the Soviet Union, because back in the Soviet Union days, that's how it was referred to. If you want to be respectful for Ukraine, just call it Ukraine. Leave out the. So I hope you learned that. I hope that was a fun fact for you today. Anyway, this stream is full of all kinds of fun facts. Subtitle: Geography is hard. Okay, I talked about Jamie Roberts, the Sticker of the Month Club, Kofi, shouting out The Legend of Azumi again, tinyurl.com/TLOAM. It's also in the Kofi shop that I have. The Kofi shop also has free coloring book pages. It has free coloring book pages that you can download and color for yourself if you like. There's other comics available for download as well. I think that's it for now. Again, not streaming this upcoming Tuesday. We'll be streaming again this same platform, this same time on Saturday. That's it for now. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hydrate. Have a snack. You are awesome.